everybody! I hope you guys had a fantastic Halloween weekend. It's now over, which is sad. It's Sunday, time to start getting back into reality, but I had a great weekend, so I hope you did too. It's just crazy to me that October is now over and it's time for me to do my wrap up, but it's November, so let me just get right into telling you how October went for me. I managed to read through 4 books this month, which is a little bit better than last month. The first book I finished this month was Dragon Keeper by Carol Wilkinson. It is a middle grade fantasy book about a girl named Ping who has to find her destiny of becoming the Dragon Keeper by working with this dragon named Danzi and going on a grand adventure. I didn't know it was a middle grade book going into it. I think that was the biggest problem. It was too young for me. A lot of middle grade books can still appeal to older readers later on, but this was just not one of them. It was too predictable and they were telling me a lot more than they were showing me. So even though the characters were fun and the setting was okay and the plot was okay, it just didn't really appeal to me. I was pretty bored because I knew exactly what the Dragonstone was, like from the second that she picked it up in the beginning of the book. So like there was not really a big reveal at the end. Like I knew what it was. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy this one and I made myself finish it just to say that I did. But yeah, it was like a 2 out of 5 stars for me at best. So I think it would be fun for younger readers, but it was not for me. The second book that I picked up this month was The Lover's Dictionary by David Levithan. I ordered this book in September, but it didn't get to me till after my September book haul. So the second it got to me, I started reading it because it just looked so cute and it looked like a really fast read, which it was. And I just fell in love with it. It was very relatable and very sweet and also heartbreaking and just a great snapshot of an adult long-term relationship. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and it's just one of those where you can sort of flip back to a bunch of different entries. As you can see, I liked a lot of them whenever you want and just kind of reread them, and it's a fun little book. I have a short review of it going up sometime this week if you want to know a little bit more. After finishing The Lover's Dictionary, I noticed on Goodreads that the Little Book Club was picking up Vicious by Victoria Schwab, or V.E. Schwab, as their October pick of the month. I decided to get in on that because I'd had that book on my radar for a little while and hadn't had an excuse to pick it up yet, and so there was my excuse. I went to the library and I picked it up, and I'm so glad that I did because I ended up really loving it. This book is basically an adult sci-fi anti-hero superhero book, and it's really great. If you like characters that are really sort of terrible but really addicting to read, then you're gonna love this book. If you want to know more about it or you want to know my thoughts on it, then go check out my review. I explain it in a little bit more detail there, but it's non-spoilery, so if you want to know more, you can check that out. But suffice to say, I really liked it, and I was so glad I picked it up. I flew through it. I think I actually gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. I don't know if I just mentioned that or not. After finishing reading about one Victor in Vicious, I moved on to reading about an entirely different Victor Frankenstein in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. This book definitely put me in the Halloween spirit, and I'm so glad that I did get to finish it this month. I got through it a lot slower than I would have liked because life and school sort of got in the way, but I really did enjoy this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and this was mainly because I just loved the language and the cadence of the whole story. The main appeal for me was definitely the feeling of being told a great ghost story. I didn't actually connect very deeply with the characters themselves. I'm still making up my mind about how I actually feel about the monster. Some of me sympathizes with it, and a larger part of me, I think, is just like, no, you're not acceptable. Your behavior was unacceptable. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about Victor and about the monster, but I did really enjoy the story. And the cool thing about this edition is there are a couple extra stories at the end in the appendices, and so I read those too, and those were interesting to peek at. It's just funny because this edition, like, only half of the book is actually Frankenstein and the rest is like introductions and stuff and then appendices. But yeah, it was fun and I'm really glad I got around to it. I actually finished it last night, so technically I finished it in November, but so yeah, those are the 4 books that I read this month, 2 of which I still actually have with me. I am a little bit sad that I didn't get to Bram Stoker's Dracula, because I really wanted to get to it this month, but I just didn't have time, so hopefully I'll get a chance to read it in like December when I'm back home and things are calmed down and I have more time to actually devote to this book. But yeah, despite that, I still think it was a fairly good reading month for me considering how busy I was. As far as the November TBR, I'm keeping it short, and then if I get to more than these 2 books, great. If not, this is like the busiest, craziest month of the year for me, so I really don't care. The first one on the list is A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. I started it in September and got a little bit of the way through, but it's one of those books that I've read it before and it really would be easy for me to sort of just pick it up periodically whenever and make my way through it. And so I'd like to just sort of do that this month whenever I have time, read a couple of chapters, because I do love this book and it's been a while, so I wanted to reread it, but I'm in no rush to finish it. It's kind of a big one. I'd like like to make some progress through it, if not finish it. The next book on the list is City of Dark Magic by Magnus Flight, and this looks like such an awesome fantasy book. I'm really excited to pick it up. Part of it takes place in Prague, which is where I'm going in a few months, so yeah, I really want to get around to this now, and I'm very, very excited to start it. But yeah, besides these two, we'll just see what happens. If you guys have read any of these books, please let me know what you thought of them down in the comments below, and yeah, I'd love to hear what you read about this month. So yeah, hope you guys had a good month and a good Halloween, and this has been a wrap-up video. My name is Jackie, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!